Hello, mathematicians. Hey, we are going to jump right on in, and we are going to be working on dividing decimals by decimals. So we've kind of been doing a build-up. We've been working on just regular division. We've worked on just dividing decimals by a whole number. Now we're going to look at dividing a decimal by a decimal. So we're going to jump right on in. Get your book open to page 239 while I get myself set up here with my screen. So you're going to take a look at page 239. Again, pause this video at any point if you are not understanding or if you just need some time to get caught up. There's always the pause button and the rewind button, which is a good thing. Just don't mute me, because if you mute me, then you can't hear me, okay? So don't mute me. I don't know if you can. I'm sure you can, but don't do it. All right, let's take a look at this first question. We're going to go over this really rather quickly, okay? This is the beginning of our lesson. It's kind of just to get us familiar with dividing decimals by decimals, but we're going to do it in little baby steps. It says an art studio has 36 gallons of acrylic paint. They separate it into 9 containers. How many gallons are in each container? So basically our basic fact is 36 divided by 9. Well, 36 divided by 9 is 4. Okay, so we're going to use that as we work through these 3 blocks. Okay, we're going to use that as we work through these 3 blocks. So taking a look at this first one, if I were to take, so problem number 1, if I were to take 36 and divide it by 0.9, so instead of it being up here, like where we had 36 divided by 9, I'm now dividing it by 0 and 9/10. Take a look and my answer becomes 40. So what did we notice happened when we actually took 36 divided by 36 divided by 9, and we got 4. What happened when we took 36 and we divided it by 0 and 9/10? Oh my gosh, 4, not 40, Mrs. Horner. There we go. It became 40. So what are we seeing what's happening? Well, I'm seeing that the decimal point is at the end here, and it looks like I just moved it over 1 here, which means I were to have moved it over 1 here, which meant that I were to have annexed a 0. Okay, so what happens if my basic fact, again, I see my 36 divided by 9, but I move my decimal over 2. Here's my decimal, 1, 2, and I get 400. So we're seeing this pattern. 1, 2, 3. My decimal point would have been 4 in my basic fact of 36 divided by 9. 1, 2, 3. So now let's take a look here. 1, 2, 3, 4, which means I would have my decimal point here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to annex my 0. And this answer is 40,000. So what are we seeing that is actually happening? We're seeing that the dividends are the same. Okay, so this stayed the same, the dividend stayed the same, but the divisor changed based off of tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000. So basically what we did is we just moved that decimal point over. So now let's take a look at what happens when the dividend, so the dividend now has the decimal. Okay, remember our basic fact is still 36 divided by 9, which is 4. But now it's in the dividend. What are we noticing that's happening? 0.4. So notice when it was in the divisor up here, my quotient got bigger. But now since it's in my dividend, it's actually getting smaller. So that means that I have 4. And I'm going to move it over. See, I've got 1, 2. So I'm going to move it back in 1, 2. So here, 1, 2, 3. I move it into the left, 1, 2, 3. So that means that this one is going to be 0.0004 because 1, 2, 3, 4. And I was here 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. So take a look at what happens here. Now I have the decimal in the divisor, and I have the decimal in the dividend. Okay, so take a look. So my quotient here is 4, but look at what happens. So my 9/10 turns to 9/100, and my 3.6 turns into 36/100. So what does this mean for this one? Notice my pattern. Take a look at my pattern. This is going to be 0.0009. It's going to stay the same. Okay. So that's just a little quick tidbit into our lesson. So turn over to the next page, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So here's what's going to happen. when we divide by decimals. When dividing by decimals, we change the divisor into a whole number. Okay, we change the divisor. Remember, the divisor is the outside number. So you have your dividend, the number you're dividing, the number you're dividing by, and then you have your quotient is your answer. So go ahead and write that somewhere. So we're talking about the divisor, the outside number. Okay, the number we're dividing this by. So it says in order to do this, we multiply both the divisor and the dividend by the same power of 10. Every time we move that decimal point, we're multiplying power of 10. 10, 100, 1,000. So it moves over one time, but by the power of 10. 10, 100, 1,000. Those are powers of 10. Can we keep going? Yes. Okay, those are powers of 10. Make sure you're writing this down. Okay, don't just sit there and look pretty. Well, y'all are pretty, but don't sit there and look pretty. Okay, so now let's take a look at this first example. I want you to see what happens. We are taking 1 71/100 and dividing it by 9/10. So we've moved that decimal point over 1, which is multiplying it by 10. Therefore, we're going to do the exact same thing and move it over 1. So now my problem becomes 17 1/10 divided by 9. I've made my divisor, that outside number, a whole number. However many spaces I move that number to make it a whole number is the same that I move it in my dividend. So I moved it over. So now that I don't have anything else, I'm just going to place my decimal point up there and I divide like normal. Okay, let's practice. So taking a look at this. You do, I do. Okay, first we would estimate. This would be 3 2 64/100 divided by 6/10, so it's as close to 1. So 3 divided by 1 is 3. That's our rough estimate. Quick, simple estimate. So we're going to multiply 0.6 by 10 because it only is going to move over one spot. So I've multiplied my divisor by 10 so that I end up having 6 for my divisor, which means I have to multiply my dividend by 10. So when I multiply that by 10, whoops, it's going to move over one spot, which gives me 26 4/10. Okay, now I'm ready to begin. I'm going to take this decimal point, I'm going to move it directly up above. Okay, because now I'm done. I've got my whole number. I'm going to move it directly up above. I'm going to do it in both places. Now I'm going to take 6 or 26 and divide it by 6. I know that goes in 4 times. 4 times 6 is 24. I subtract. Okay, 26 minus 24 is 2. I check. Is 2 less than 6? Yes. So I bring down and I get 4. I have 24. I know that goes in 4 times. 4 times 24, or 4 times 6 is 24. I subtract. I'm left with 0. So my answer is 4 4/10. Okay, let's practice. There's not a lot of room down below, so I'm going to write them up here. So I'm going to do A up here, go all the way to the top. I'm going to rewrite my problem. And they're saying it is 54 4/10 divided by 1 7/10. So really it looks like this: 54 4/10 divided by 1 7/10. I'm moving the outside number to make it a whole number. Therefore, how many spaces did I have to move it over to make it 17? I only had to move it over 1, which means I'm multiplying by 10. So whatever I do to my divisor, I have to do to my dividend. So if I move that over 1, I'm going to move this over 1. Now, what happens if I have to move it over 3? Then I move it in the dividend 3 places. So I've moved it over. Now I'm going to carry up my decimal. So now what Mrs. Horner is going to do, hopefully, is I'm going to try to erase this. So it looks like I have 17 out here. And then I have my whole number of 544. Okay, your eraser probably looks better. And then my decimal point was at the end. So here we go. We're going to do 17. So if I have 17, how many groups out of 54 can I make? Well, if we're not sure, let's try 17 times 3 over on the side. 21, 51. There we go. Mrs. Horner got it on the first try. 17 times 3 is 51. I'm going to subtract. I'm left with 3. Is 3 less than 17? Yes. So far we're doing it right. And then I have 4. 34. So now I divide 34 divided by 17. Well, I know 17 plus 17 is 34, so I know it goes in there twice. So 2 times 17 is 34. I subtract. Do I need to annex any zeros? Nope, I don't, because I have nothing left. I don't need to annex any zeros. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and do C. So C is 0.0063 divided by 0.007. Wow, look at all these. Okay, so I know this is my divisor, so I know I'm going to move it over 3 spots. 1, 2, 3. That's going to be my whole number on my divisor. Since I multiplied it by powers of tens, I really multiplied it by 1,000. So now I'm going to multiply this by 1,000, which is the same as moving over 3 places. 1, oops, oh my goodness, see, it gets a little crazy, a mind of its own. 1, 2, 3, which gives me 6 and 3/10. So here we go. I'm done. I'm going to move my decimal point up, and I get 6 divided by 7. Not going to happen. So now I get 63. If I have 63, how many groups, I'm ignoring that decimal point, remember. How many groups of 63, or how many groups of 7 can I make if I have 63? I can make 9, which 9 times 7 is 63. I subtract. I have nothing left, so 0 and 9/10. Okay, now let's jump over to some example problems here. Zeros in the quotient and dividend. This is where we're going to have to annex some zeros. So let's take a look at D. So on this page, on page 241, we're going to do D together. Let me zoom in here a little bit. My problem is 5 and 6/10 divided by 0 and 14 thousandths. So I'm going to actually be moving, remember this is my divisor, this is my dividend. Okay, I'm going to move it over here because I just don't have a lot of room to work. So I'm going to move it over 1, 2, 3. So my new divisor is now 14, and I have moved it over 3 places. So now I'm going to take 5 and 6/10, and I'm going to move it over 3 places. Again, I'm really multiplying it by 1,000 because I multiplied my divisor by 1,000, therefore I have to multiply my dividend by 1,000. So 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to annex my zeros. There's my decimal place, and I'm just going to move it right up. And now I'm going to kind of try to erase those a little bit, just like that. Okay, there we go. So I've got 5,600 divided by 14. So 14, I don't know, let's try times 4. 16, 1, oh, 56, perfect. So I know that 14 times 4 is 56. I'm going to subtract, I get 0. 0 is less than 14, so I'm going to bring down. I annex this other 0. I know that if I have 0, I can't make any groups of 14. Therefore, I multiply 0 times 14 to get 0. I bring down this other 0. If I have 0, can I make a group of 14? Nope. 14 times 0 is 0. Am I done? Yes, I do not need to annex anymore. So therefore, my answer is 400. Okay. We're going to do F. F is 0 and 4/10 divided by 25. So let's take a look. So 25 divided by 0 and 4/10. Now this is where we're going to have to annex some zeros. Do I have a whole number out here? Yep. So I'm just going to move my decimal point up. I'm going to ignore it. So if I have 0, can I make a group of 25? No. If I have 4, can I make a group of 25? No. Which means I now have to annex a couple of zeros. So now I have 40. If I have 40, how many groups can I make? I can make 1. So therefore 1 times 25, I subtract, I get 15. I'm going to bring down another 0. If I have to add more zeros, I'll add more zeros. So I have 150 in groups of 25. That gives me 16. 25 times 16 is 150. 0. Do I need to annex any more zeros? No, because I have nothing left that I need to bring down. Okay, there's going to be some more problems on part 2. This is part 1. Part 2 is going to be the next part of just practice.